Okay, we're coming to you from Arab, Alabama. Welcome to Studio 13. That's what I call it here in Arab. Today we're going to talk about something else. I talked about something already today, but I'm going to do something else. So, ballot access. Everybody's talking about right now all the redistricting lines that makes it better for Democrats, Republicans. But what would help it make it better for you and me? Let me read something to you. And I think that achieving ballot access in Alabama, and it's just terrible in other states too, but this one is probably the most difficult. So you can Google it, you can ask ChatGPT, and Nikki was good enough to research this for me. I printed it out. Ballot access requirements for governor or any statewide office. There's a problem, and I think it's unconstitutional. Now, I think we should give the legislature time, and this is the first time I put it out here, time to fix this. So I'm going to put it out here right now, and we should all demand this, just like we demand the right to vote. We should demand the right to have other candidates on the ballot. There's no difference. There's no difference. They're saying we're going to make sure we fight to have both sides fight for the right to give us the right to vote for one of their candidates. Now that's kind of messed up. We shouldn't be blocked ballot access by something that's unachievable. Unachievable for normal people. Now, I wrote a book called Let Stacey Lee George Do It, and it touches on how to win locally. Okay? I've tried about every scenario, and I've won before at the local level without hardly any money, and it can be done. But statewide, it's hard to do in a primary. So, we're going to talk about statewide ballot access in Alabama. 43,000 registered voters in Alabama to get ballot access. 43,000. That is 3% of the people that voted in the last governor's race in Alabama. Now, there's other states, but none of them that I can find is 3%. Alabama is the worst that I can find. The worst. It says states there are very high requirements. California, 1%. Now they're a lot bigger, but it's 1%. Texas, 1%. Georgia, 1%. Alabama, 3% of the last. North Carolina, 2%. Now, these are the tough ones. So we're definitely tougher. You can't compare us to California other than the percentage. 1% in California, 3% Alabama. Now, this is the takeaways from it. Alabama is among the toughest states. Imagine that, to get ballot access in a November race. Only a handful of states, California, Texas, and North Carolina, are clearly a higher number. But they're not a higher percentage. They're a lower percentage, every one of them, of the total people. Lower percentage. So Alabama is tougher all the way around. The lowest, it says huge variations across the country. It says lowest is 25 signatures, and I'm not sure exactly what this is. It says Tennessee edge cases. Highest, California. The bottom line, it says right here, Alabama's 43,000 requirement is far above the average. Most states fall between 1,000 signatures and 10,000 signatures. Alabama is widely considered one of the most restrictive ballot access states in the U.S. Look, I've been doing this political thing for a long time. Made a lot of people mad in both parties. But I refuse to give up. And they say, people might say, well, if the Lord wanted you to win, you'd raise enough money and get the resources to do this, to win a statewide race. I don't agree with that. The Lord puts you in things, in situations to where you improvise. And He wants you to rely on Him and rely on other factors. But I'm going to keep going because people want to know why. Let George do it. In this book, I tell people a lot of things. A political and spiritual awakening. Talks about a lot of things here. Tells you how to run a race. Tells you a little bit about me. But let me tell you what's important here. Let George do it is the only 4 words that I've ever heard God say to me in a thundering voice several years ago. And the only thing let George do it ties to in me is politics. So I don't know whether I'm a preacher or a politician or supposed to be. I don't know which one. So sometimes I put this hat on until I figure it out. This one's really always on. But sometimes I put this one on. And I talk about this a lot because for some reason God gave me the ability to understand it. It's real easy for me. A lot of things are not easy. A lot of times people might say the English language might be tough for me. But let me tell you something. That's why I keep seeking for the let George do it. It's because that ties me into politics. And I never forget about Jesus. Okay? That's not going to happen, regardless of what I'm doing. But let's talk about politics here for a minute. I try to keep these videos to less than 10 minutes. Because if I can't tell you in less than 10 minutes, I need to start over anyway because I'm going to lose your attention. But it's very important that we start talking about it to our legislators. They're all worried about making Alabama red, but it is red. And the Democrats are fighting it, and the Republicans are fighting. But are they really fighting for you and me? If they were fighting for you and me, they would allow people just like me and you to get ballot access here in Alabama. But I believe it's unconstitutional. So I'm going to start with the legislature next year, talking about these issues, trying to lower it. I have a feeling it's going to be a problem because these parties hold power over us. So right now, they want all this redistricting to go, but they want everybody, both sides wants everybody that's legal and rightfully a citizen to vote. Some parties want maybe people that maybe are not legal to vote. But the bottom line is, nobody's fighting, either party's fighting for us to have the right to be on the ballot. Maybe we don't want their candidate or their candidates. Maybe we want a choice, and if the party is so much better than the other person running, they shouldn't be a problem. It should never be a problem. Your party should never be a problem on wondering, as a politician in a party, you shouldn't be worried about other people running. If you're going to do a good job and your party's going to push it, they're still going to have the money, special interest with them. But this is the key. Start talking to your legislators about ballot access. And we're going to win this battle long term if we have to go to court. Because I believe the court will rule that 3% is too much in Alabama. I'm going to do my best to prove it and help me. They want us to vote, but they don't want us to run.